So, welcome everybody. Welcome. I'll just wait a few seconds until everybody has connected. We are live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram. So, did you know that leaving the workforce, leaving the workforce belongs to the top 10 most stressful events in someone's life. And actually, we don't talk a lot about it, whether it has been planned because you have your retirement around the corner, or maybe it was not planned because you were made redundant or you became sick. I think if it's in a case where it was kind of planned, um, one should get prepared for that. Of course, you cannot prepare for every second and every day. But I believe that, when you know it's coming a few months, a few years ahead of you, you should start to prepare and have good thoughts on how you would want to create that new future of yours. So, welcome to this life that I called From No Time to Showtime. I mean, from no time, from being a busy person with having a very structured day in the profession that you are exercising right now, and being in the workforce, having every day lots to do, meetings, projects, deadlines, a team, travels, conference, and so on. And all the people around that you say hello every morning, that you have lunch, that you drink and chit chat with a coffee. This is what you know. To moving to a situation when, yeah, there's the structure of the 24 hours, but it's still a little bit the unknown what will happen with that structure. So, in that transition from no time, being very, very busy, to leaving the workforce, there are different phases. And maybe the first phase is like, this is wonderful. Finally, I'm free. I don't live into this corset anymore. I can do all that I want to do. But maybe it's different. Maybe you feel like it makes me afraid, this unknown, or it's just after 6 months that you're like, okay, I'm free, but I'm bored now. I'm frustrated now. I get angry at small things now because I miss the people I used to work with. I miss maybe the things that I was doing. The good thing is, whether right now you have no time, you have this very all your days are very well scheduled, to that phase when you will have more time that you still don't know what to do with. Here you have 24 hours, and here you have 24 hours. So it's the same structure, you know? And the thing is, if we think about the hourglass, the sand that is going down, the hours, the seconds, or the minutes, they are the same whether they're here or whether they're there. The sand is the same sand. It doesn't care. The hours, they don't care what you do with them. You need to care about what you do with the hours. And here on that side, it's showtime. Because actually, this structure of the 24 hours, you can see it as your stage. Here, where you have no time because you are so busy. And actually, maybe this is something that you like because it's being valued by society, by the people around you. It gives you a status, it gives you an occupation, and maybe you just love it anyways, what you do. And you may sometimes think, this is exactly what I want to do. But that may not always be the things you would really do yourself. They may be the things that your boss wants you to do. They may be the things that the regulator requires you to do. They may be the things that you were assigned to by the board. But still, it feels comfortable, it's good. While here, you're allowed to create that future, create that structure, do the things you want to do on that stage. And it can be frightening. In case you don't know me, my name is Caroline Grégoire, and I love helping impact-driven leaders to find meaning, clarity, and joy at work so that they have the time and the energy to live their life to the fullest. I do so in English, French, German, and Swedish. I have an actuarial background and I work for more than 20 years within the insurance, reinsurance, consultancy, risk management aspects or fields, mostly in leadership positions and in international settings. I've now been working as an international mentor, coach, trainer, and keynote speaker for the last 7 years. And I now focus my work on topics like leadership, self-leadership, communication, resilience, culture, and strategy. So I'm so glad that you are here. And I would like to invite you to write in the chat what is the reason why you decided to attend this live today? Hello, Sophie. Nice to see you. So happy to see you. To know that you're here because I don't see you really. So I invite you, if you want to write in the chat. What is the reason why you decided to attend this live today? Or if you're watching the replay, why did you decide to listen to what I will be saying today? Thank you for sharing. So as of today, let's say you are still in the workforce, you have your occupation, your profession. And when we meet people, we usually say, what do you do for a living? So you have your identity with that. Maybe you say, I'm a director at a reinsurance company. I'm responsible for the Asian countries. I travel there three times a year. I have my team of 20 people, and whatever it is that you say, it's your identity. It's a big part of who you are, of how you operate on a day-to-day basis, because all the to-dos that you have to do, they belong to that identity. One of my uncles in Canada, that's actually where I'm from, he used to be a pediatrician. And a few years ago, he decided it was time for him to retire. He had his own clinic, but in Quebec, the health system is a public one. So actually, the state is employer. So a few months before he retired, he received a letter, black on white. It was written black on white that the day he will retire, it's finished with being a doctor, a medical doctor. He will not be allowed to give medical advice moving forward. Can you imagine what it does to one's identity? His identity was, I'm a pediatrician. I have my own clinic. I'm a medical doctor. It's my profession. Maybe it was even his vocation. We don't talk about vocation much, actually. And now moving forward, he was not allowed to do this anymore. The one thing is, in that transition, what you will have acquired as skills, as competencies, as behaviors, you don't lose them. You just bring them with you in that other phase of your life, let's say. And I guess in many profession, it's not like this that you receive a letter black on white. Look, you were you were a director at a larger insurance company. You're not allowed anymore. You have to just to just erase everything you had in your brain. No, not like this. But I remember that when my uncle spoke about this letter he had received, he was very sad. Hmm? So if as of today you are a director at a reinsurance company, I always take the same example. What is it that you will be moving forward? Who will you be moving forward? You will still be the same human being, but how will you want to identify yourself? So there are three things that if you're kind of afraid thinking of, I will have this 24-hour structure in the future that, okay, Caroline told me it is my stage, it is showtime for me, but what do I do on the stage? There are three things that I will invite you to try. And it reminds me of the story of the mother of a friend of mine. Had retired, and maybe 2 years within retirement, she was doing nothing. She was just sitting watching TV. She would go to the grocery store. She had lost her husband even before she retired. And my friend was living in another town, so she couldn't visit her very often, but she would call every evening to make sure her mom was fine. My friend was busy herself, working, having a family, and so on. And she would call her mom, and her mom would say, "Yeah, I'm watching TV." She would talk about what she had been watching, but it made my friend sad to realize her mom was doing absolutely nothing out of her days. My friend would have liked to have so much time, and she could even hear that maybe sometimes she had one glass of wine too much. Well, one day she called her mom, and her mom said, the neighbor came by, and she had a pair of running shoes that were a bit too small, and she gave them to me. Maybe tomorrow I will take a walk. Okay. So the next evening, my friend called, no answer. She tried a little bit later, and her mom said, I was just out. I took a 10-minute walk. Wow. My friend was like, And her voice sounded a little bit more alive. The day after that, same thing. And her mom answered later the phone, and she said, I took a walk today. I walked for 20 minutes. And my friend realized, her voice is much more alive. So this lady, she started to walk every day, more and more. She became more alive. She started to meet people, neighbors, make friends, meet people for coffee and so on. And she even, I think after 1 year, she decided, I can't recall how it happened, but she had met some people who were living in a village in France. So she moved to France in this village with this group of people who were growing their own food, making their own bread and so on. And this lady had the most wonderful transformation ever. She got her life back by walking. She moved her body. What do we do here when we are very, very busy? When we sit in front of our computer, when we sit in meetings, when we sit maybe in our cars and in the aircraft or whatever, we sit a lot. So going here, when it's showtime, I need to invite you to move your body. And according to Anders Hansen, he's a Swedish psychiatrist and author, he says that the brain works at its best when we move our body. Maybe we know this intuitively, maybe we don't, maybe you don't like sport, maybe you don't want to do yoga. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at a minimum, walk. Go out, take a 10-minute walk twice a day at a minimum. The movement, moving your body, it will make you feel stronger. It will give you more endurance. It will also help with the emotions. They can go through your bodies. When you feel frustrated, angry, and so on, go out, take a walk, breathe in and breathe out at the same time. It can also help to relieve stress. And according to Anda, she said it's also a creativity boost. And on top of that, it will make sure that you stay as healthy as possible. Because you cannot buy health. And you don't want to move from here, a calendar full of to-dos, to there, a calendar full of doctor's appointments. So the movement, at a minimum, 2 walks a day, each time 10 minutes. But maybe there's something else that you like. Maybe you always wanted to try Qigong. Maybe you always wanted to try inlines, or you want to bicycle everywhere, whatever it is. I'm just saying the minimum. It has to be there in your schedule, on your stage. Did you know that your heart could beat even before you had your first thought? Yes, because in the womb, the first organ that is being developed, as in the small fetus, is the heart. And the heart is, yes, it is connected to the brain. The brain gets developed a little bit later, and it's connected to the brain. They are connected via nervous system. And funny enough, in that pathway between the heart and the brain, 90% of the pathways, they go from the heart to the brain, and 10% from the brain to the heart. So the heart knows. And I could go on with a lot of statistics, because we like statistics in our world. And I could say the heart has something like 40,000 neurons, that it will beat on average in a lifetime to billions of times, and so on. But I want to speak about the heart, like Blaise Pascal once said. He said, "Le cœur a ses raisons que la raison ne connaît pas." The heart has its reason that reason doesn't know. That's why here, when it's your showtime, it's time to do the things that you love, that are good for your heart. Not for the physical heart, yes, but for the emotional heart, the heart that keeps you also healthy. And if you're like, I've been so busy doing the things that other people loved or wanted me to do, so that now I don't really know what I love to do, I will give you a few hints. I will say, just stay open. Stay open and stay curious. If you have friends who suggest to you, would you come to my Qigong course, my Qigong class tonight? Say yes. Just try. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying you have to like it, but if you're really at the point where you don't know where to start, well, be open and curious and try things. Try things. And another thing is, if you try things, you don't like them so much, I will ask you the question, what is it that you loved to do when you were a kid? It was like a passion of yours. You could spend hours being busy with these things, and you just loved it, and you were quite good at it. Maybe you were building houses with small blocks. Maybe you were drawing. Maybe you were singing. Maybe you were sewing. Maybe um, you were playing different instruments. Maybe later you were kind of playing the carpenter as well. Whatever it is that you just love to do when you were a kid. If you don't remember, ask your siblings or parents or friends from your childhood. Because I guess that going from here, especially if we're talking about retirement, from here to there, well, the financial side of that transition should be kind of under control, let's say. So here in the stuff that you do, you probably do not need to earn money. So whatever it is that you love to do when you were a child, it will give you an indication of things that, yes, I love to do that, and I would still love to try to do this. And if still you don't have answers, you know what? Listen each day 10 minutes to music that only you love. It can be the most classical thing, it can be the most hard rock, whatever. Listen to music that you love. So, listen to your heart when you are on your stage. Maybe you're familiar or you have heard about the hierarchy of needs from Maslow, and Tony Robbins, who is a well-known coach and author, he kind of looked at it, he changed it a little bit, and he said, actually, we human beings, we have 6 basic needs. To start with, he speaks about security and comfort, making sure that we feel safe in our day-to-day life. The other one, strangely enough, is uncertainty and variety, making sure that we are mentally and physically stimulated so that it's maybe not always the same. And I won't name them all, but the last one, the 6th one that he mentions, is that we all have a need to contribute. And I think that sometimes to contribute in a meaningful way. And that if you are on this side, like thinking, I have all these things that I do and I contribute to what? To the company, let's say, or to my work. Actually, if you think about, let's say, I like to think that because I used to work in the insurance and in reinsurance business, and we are very busy with the numbers and with all the things that we calculate and the numbers that we have to deliver. But actually, why do insurance companies exist? What is the meaning of them? And it is to help people when they are in financial needs. So going into on that side, it's like, what is meaningful to you? How do you want to contribute moving forward? Because as I said before, you are moving from here to there with all your skills, all your competencies, all your behavior, everything that you learned, that you're good at. You can contribute to society to give back in a meaningful way. So that can be that you would want to teach, you would want to mentor, maybe. It can be in the same profession or it can be something totally different. You can just say, I want to become a student of whatever you like, and this has meaning for you. You can also be a volunteer at a pet shelter, or because this is important to feel you're part of society. I think we may not value this enough because we value the business of here, because there's maybe a monetary value associated to it, while on that side, less of as a society. But in the small things, people appreciate this so much. So as a summary, remember here when you are very, very busy, you have this structure of 24 hours. moving forward after having left the workforce. They're maybe difficult to let go. I'm not saying that it's easy. It can be frightening as well to let go of that. But remember, you will have the same structure of 24 hours. It's moving from here to there. It is the same sand. So you are decide on these, what you do with the 24 hours on your stage. I just repeat the 3 items that you need to have on your stage. First one is the movement. You decide how you want to dance, but I said as a minimum, walk twice a day, each time or 10 minutes as a minimum. Second, do what you love. At a minimum, if you don't know where to start, listen to the music that you love for at least 10 minutes. And the third one is give back and contribute around you. The community, the society needs you. They want to have something out of all the competencies and skills and interests that you have. And if possible, if you are in the situation right now that, in 6 months, I will reach retirement age and it will be my last day at work. And you may be really busy with all the administrative stuff right now, thinking about this, maybe you want to have a little party for your colleagues and so on. It's very nice, but you could start to do one of these 3 things as of today. My uncle from the beginning, the pediatrician, what he has decided to do, because I think when I observe him, I think being a medical doctor is more than an occupation. It's rather a vocation of him. So he still continues to read, studies, research papers and stuff, because he's so interested into that. I have to say, sometimes I call him as well when there's a little problem. I don't take it as medical advice. I know, I'm not allowed to. But what about you? He also likes fishing, of course, and he makes sure that he takes a walk every day or 2. So think about this. We were talking about from being that busy person, busy director, or busy pediatrician, whatever you are, being your identity. What do you want to be? Do you want to be, if we are thinking of retirement, a happy retiree, a frustrated retiree, a fun retiree? As I said, there can be different phases in that transition. Or maybe because it's your stage and your showtime, maybe you want to be an artist at life, jumping on your own stage. So the good thing in that transition, the good thing about it, there is a lot of fear at times. What will happen with me? It's small steps, one day after the other. Some days will be good, some days won't be this good. But the good thing overall is when it will be your time to go from no time to showtime, you will not be the first one who will have gone through it. So look around you, get inspired by people who have made a good transition. It doesn't mean that it was fantastic the whole time, but get inspired by people you're like, oh, wow, he did it like this, she did it like this. I will speak with him or with her and get some tips of how I can do it. So live your life to the fullest instead of aiming at a full calendar again, because you will always be a human being maybe on that side there was a lot of doing into that. And on this side here, it's the same human being, maybe with sometimes less doing, sometimes a little bit more, but at least doing the things that you love, doing the things that are good for you and that are also meaningful to you and to society. So I had planned for half an hour. If there are questions, I invite you to write them in the chat. Otherwise, I would like to say, if you know someone who is in a difficult situation, is like having maybe some fears even from going from here to there, you can just share this link. You can also you can make sure also that you connect with me, that you follow my work. You can also book a call with me if you wish to. And stay tuned also. I will have my next live in about 4 weeks. I will make sure that I will announce it in about 2 weeks, so you will know for sure what it is about. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. I wish you a wonderful week, a wonderful autumn, and a wonderful calendar. I think a calendar, even as of today, in your profession and being in the workforce, just doing the things that you love and that are also good for you. So thank you again. All the best and ciao, ciao. See you soon.